And in the last year or so, we have also seen a lot of other businesses, crypto businesses coming here. And there's many local ones here too. You know, Ledger's here. Ledger's a very popular, well, the most popular hardware wallet. There's many other businesses here that are quite strong. So I think we're already kind of the hub, but it's the early days. And we want to continue to build up on that. And we're very confident this is the right place.
Wow, well, thank you so much. Great ambitions, and we look forward to seeing all that over the next few days. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What a great way to open this event, and of course, what a warm welcome from Paris to global leaders in their respective fields. France's blockchain future looks to have a clear direction going forward as France and Europe become leaders in Web3. Now, next up on the agenda is the first panel talk of this day and conference. Now, without further ado, let's welcome the moderator, Martin Brunko, EU Head of Binance, and his guests for our next panel on setting the stage for Europe as a global Web3 leader.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. It's great to be here in the heart of beautiful Paris. And it's fantastic to be here today with Yves and Ian. We're going to discuss about Europe and its potential and role in driving the Web3 revolution. And I think we have two fantastic speakers here. Yves, who co-founded Ubisoft almost 40 years ago, and I think impressively, it's just as iconic now, this company, as it was at the very beginnings. And then we have Ian, who is a Chief Experience Officer at Ledger, which again is one of the leading companies, obviously, in the crypto space. And I think Ian also has a very interesting background because previously he was doing a lot in arts, or in the art business, if I may say. He was the head of music at Apple, and he was also Chief Digital Officer at LVMH. So I look forward to a great discussion here.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks so much.
So let's set the stage. We all know, and I don't need to explain to you, that's why you're here, that really Web3 is the future. We have right now about 300+ million users globally of crypto. And the question is, can Europe compete? Can it become a global leader? I think if we are really honest with ourselves, in the first internet wave, in the second internet wave, Europe always was an early leader, but then it lagged behind its two other sectors. So, however, I think if you look at what's happening right now in Europe, we are now growing more unicorns. I mean Europe, growing more unicorns than Asia or US. If you just look at the amount of VC funding, last year, it was more than 100 billion euros. That's 5 times more money than 5 years ago. So, Yves, do you think something is changing now?
Yeah, I think what's really changing is the fact that now there's enough money to be invested in Europe by lots of investors, and also the fact that now you don't need to go in the US or in other countries to create your company and to raise funds. And what's important is that there are lots of entrepreneurs in Europe, and they have lots of people that have been successful. So in being successful, they showed other people that they could actually take the risk. And the other point, which is also huge, is the talents in Europe are just immense. And they want to stay in their countries. And if they can take advantage of all those disruptions that are coming with Web3, I think they have the possibility to create the new world. And it's a new beginning for all of Europe and for all of you creating companies.
I think that's it. It's in many ways evolutionary, right? I mean, I'm an American living in Europe, but I did my genetic panel with 23andMe, and you know what it told me? I'm European, it turns out. So I think if you recontextualize Americans as the Europeans who took massive risk and left once upon a time, then it's a more kind of risk-centric culture. At the same time that the internet was this revolution of information that changed our lives. It changed humanity. We went from disconnection and very expensive telecom bills to call internationally to to having 6.5 billion connected smartphones, and everybody is literally one WhatsApp or WeChat phone call away from everyone else on the planet. So now we can actually do what we want from anywhere that we want, and the lifestyle here is pretty great. So, now that an entrepreneur like myself has the ability to have, the lifestyle of Europe, but, the entrepreneurialism of the US, who would say no to that?
So I think this has been one of the accusations against Europe, that, we're kind of slow, we just have too much of a good life here, we're not, entrepreneurial enough. I think if you have been demonstrating in your company for 40 years, the opposite. So, but what was kind of the secret of your success here? Right? Why have you managed to keep building this company in Europe, given that there's been quite a lot of, I think, iconic companies started by Europeans, but then they usually would move elsewhere. And I think even if you look at the crypto world, I think that's quite interesting, right? Because I think there was a whole bunch of projects that were either started by Europeans, but abroad, or started by others in Europe. I mean, from Ethereum to many others companies. Tether, bunch of ex-Europeans as well. So why have you stayed, and how? What's the secret? Why? How maybe moving forward, this is going to change?
The secret was actually the fantastic schools that we have in Europe. They create every year a good bunch of fantastic talents that just want to create the new world, and if there's a company around them that can help them to succeed and grow in a new universe, they are happy to do so. So we recruited lots of very talented people in France, and we actually sent them all over the world to train the talents in different countries, and they really help create this new video game industry more as an industry at that time, because at the beginning it was, a lot of small developers doing games in their homes, but quickly it became an industry where you have studios, where you create, you have to find the best talents, and those talents are competing against other groups of talents all over the world. And that's what really was extremely interesting, is that you are going to fight against Japanese, against Americans, and at the end of the day, it's really rewarding when you win, because that it's like the Olympic Games. You won the Olympic Games with the game you created. So that's what made our teams very excited about staying where they wanted to be. And we opened offices in Annecy, in Montpellier, in many places in Europe also, where people wanted to stay.
Exactly. I think that that education and the education, the métier of engineering that comes from these schools here in France. I mean, good luck finding a crypto project without a French person on the team, right? And I think that's because cryptography, security. I mean, these are things that have been studied very well, and really leaders in those métiers have been from France for a very long time. And the same for us. This is why Ledger has an outpost in Grenoble. There's an incredible school and program there for cryptography and security, and it's a great place to live. And to your point, if people can practice what it is they've learned around other incredibly intelligent people in a